Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Mumtaz Najihah binti Jantan from AA1104C. My metric number is 2020973415. Today, I am representing my group in introduction part to identify a topic which is 4 common characteristics of government in handling COVID-19. Since it was first reported in December 2019, the words coronavirus and COVID-19 are now the focus of attention and thought in all walks of life, both old and young. COVID-19 is no longer foreign to the Malaysian community even around the world. As is known, the spread of COVID-19 is through droplets from the respiratory tract, which is coughing and sneezing at a distance of 1 meter and also close contact. Therefore, preventive measures are very important to prevent the virus from spreading further. In order to prevent the COVID-19 outbreak from spreading further across the country, the Malaysian government has taken several important steps in handling this pandemic. Meanwhile, people's cooperation and support are required to guarantee that the government's activities to resolve COVID-19 can ensure the continuation of public health and well-being. Among the security and prevention measures taken by the government to prevent the virus from spreading is to implement movement control orders, which is MCO, in order to ensure more effective transmission when cases exceed 1 million by implementing a total lockdown, issuing mandatory instruction to wear a face mask and apply social distancing when in a crowded places, and finally implement a vaccination program that helps to prevent people from being easily infected with this dangerous virus. In the end, the approach of the whole government and society is the key for the country to address the daunting challenge in balancing life-saving and livelihood efforts in the face of the COVID-19 pandemic. Director General of Health Tan Sri Dr. Nur Hisham Abdullah said the approach involved various collaborations between ministries, government agencies, non-governmental organizations, and in various sectors and also the local community. Well, that was a brief introduction from me. Then the first characteristic will be presented by my friend Nabila Nurisham.
Assalamualaikum to semua Jipu bin Abdul Muiz. My name is Nabilah binti Nurisham and my student ID is 2020955293, and I will present about the initiative done by the government to handling COVID-19. Okay, for the first characteristic is vaccination program. After the world and our country was affected by the coronavirus or COVID-19, the number of deaths increased day by day. All people died due to an infection spreading rapidly. Our country, which at that time had to do a total lockdown, has caused the country's economic growth to plummet badly, and due to that also many of the workers lost their source of income due to job loss. Low daily cases record around May 2020, and Malaysia almost want to kill the virus. But by July 2020, cases increased again, and once again a total lockdown was done. The initiatives taken by the government have had impact in ensuring that the people of this country can continue their life to run better as before. Vaccination program was run, and a complete vaccination of 2 doses was given to every stratum of society. The first group for injection is frontliners such as health personnel, police and military. The next group is the elderly and those at high risk, then followed by the teenagers and children who are worth to get the injection. The purpose of vaccination is to stimulate the body's immune system, and for sure, the ingredients for the vaccine liquid is safe to all. The type of vaccines such as Pfizer, Sinovac, Moderna, AstraZeneca, and several other vaccine models have been given the approval to be given to the community. The adult group had successfully achieved 99% of vaccination group immunity by October 2021. At that time, space for normal patient and ICU space in COVID-19 hospitals was successfully reduced. The high school students who will sit for the examination are allowed to go to school face-to-face. The business, tourism, and several other sectors managed to operate normally as before. The country's economic rate also improved following to the reopening of many business sectors. That's all from me. Thank you and Assalamualaikum.
Characteristic 2. Reopening the country. The World Health Organization (WHO) announced 6 conditions that a country must meet before lifting a lockdown. These conditions provide justification for a country to decide to relax restriction on its social economic activities, such as disease transmission is controlled, health system capacities are in a place to detect, test, isolate, and treat every case and trace every contact. Outbreak risks are minimized in special settings like health facilities and nursing homes. School, workplace, and other essential have placed established prevent measure. The risk of importing new cases can be managed and communities are fully educated, engaged, and empowered to live under a new control. Next, the MOH Ministry of Health has planned a soft landing for an exit strategy in which the social and education sectors may have to wait longer and the travel ban may remain in effect after the MCO is lifted. Malaysia, in accordance with WHO recommendation, met the following criteria according to the MOH: the implementation of public movement control to reduce the rate of infection among locals, upgrade capacities of healthcare facilities, improve ability to care for population at risk such as the elderly, treated patient, as well as person with disabilities, community empowerment in COVID-19 preventions. Thirdly, the unintended consequence of the MCO or lockdown is that it has a negative impact on a country's economy, potentially plunging the country into a recession with widespread employment. In addition, Malaysian Prime Minister Mahathir Mohamad announced in a Labour Day address to the nation on 1st May 2020 that the country lost approximately RM2.4 billion per day during the MCO period. Up until the end of April, the total loss was estimated to be around RM63 billion. If the MCO is extended for another month in May 2020, Malaysia will lose another RM35 billion in revenue, bringing the total loss to RM98 billion. This has significant economic impact on Malaysia, a small developing country with limited economic resources. Lastly, Malaysia must carefully plan an exit strategy that will help to contain the spread of COVID-19 pandemic. The Malaysian government implemented a 6-pronged started with a firm action resolve in Malaysia control the spread of the COVID-19 pandemic by implementing public movement control, build on economic resilience through a stimulus package known as Prihatin to improve people's economy, regenerate or restart the economy on a structured and controlled basis, implement economy recovery strategies in facing the new normal, strengthen or revitalize the economy for future sustainability, and restructure or reform the economy foundation to allow the country and its people to migrate into an era of living with the new normal.
Okay, the third characteristic of government in handling of COVID-19 is to tighten the standard operating procedures, which is SOP, that is with the National Security Council, has made it mandatory to always wear a face mask when leaving the house and when attending public places. A face mask is an important preventative measure in preventing the spread of respiratory disease spread through virus, including COVID-19. Face masks can be used either to protect healthy people from becoming infected or to prevent infected people from infecting others. However, the use of face masks should be practiced in conjunction with regular hand hygiene, safe physical distancing that is at least 1 meter from others. This is because of the importance of wearing this face mask to prevent the spread of COVID-19 disease from continuing to spread.
For example, evidence of the effectiveness of this face mask is as a simple barrier and that can help prevent respiratory fluids from moving or spreading into the air and people around. When some face mask wearers have symptoms of coughing, sneezing, talking, and raising their voice. Okay. In addition, studies show that the ability of fabric face masks to prevent virus varies based on the type of fabric. Here, there are two types of face masks, such as face masks that can be used for the purpose of prevention, namely medical face masks, okay, and non-medical face masks, okay, that are available in the market. Okay, among the fabric face masks that are best are composed of waterproof fabric, okay, in a outside a filter in the middle and water absorbent fabric inside. Okay, it is possible that face masks are not suitable for everyone to wear all times. Okay, it can occur in certain circumstances. Wearing a fabric face mask can cause breathing problems, discomfort, and so on. Okay, there are a few alternatives that we need to do so that the use of fabric face mask becomes more practical. Okay, one of the alternative examples that can be done is to give priority to school students who may have trouble wearing face masks for a long time while at school. This happens should the wearing of face mask be given, okay, priority when it is difficult to maintain social imprisonment, such as in school bus or vans and during periods. Therefore, parents need to ensure that students wear face masks that are the right size and fit well on the student's face. Okay. And then the next alternative is that for individuals, okay, involved with outdoor activities such as sports and jogging, okay, wearing a face mask may cause difficulty in breathing. Okay, if it is not possible to wear a face mask, be sure to do the activity in an open space as it is well ventilated and we can practice social improvement. Okay, in addition, the 3-layer disposable face mask can only be used for up to 10 hours or during work or school hours. It cannot be washed or reused even if it is still in good condition. In this case, in Malaysia, the government's move to make the use of face mask mandatory is very accurate because the number of positive COVID-19 cases is increasing again. Therefore, all Malaysians must work together to provide commitment and determination to ensure that Malaysia is free from the COVID-19 epidemic. Okay, in conclusion, face masks are one of the preventive measures of COVID-19 and are an important matter, especially one when physical interaction is difficult to maintain. Okay, so that's all from me.
Hi and Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Fakri Haziq bin Abdul Rahim, 2020957119, and I'm from AM110. So for my part, I will tell the fourth characteristic. So the fourth characteristic is the flattening the epidemic curve. So even though Malaysia adopt the MCO later than other impact countries like South Korea, the outcome astonished many. Jointly with the Malaysia Institute of Economic Research, MIR, JP Morgan Chase and Co anticipated 6,000 to 8,500 cumulative infection peak in mid-April. With the COVID-19 cluster appearing at the same moment, the administration has taken drastic measures to avoid the forecast. Malaysia's strategy was based on earlier experienced with China and South Korea. After more than 17 days of right supervision, China usually unusual attempt to stop this virus spreading in Wuhan have proven a high success. But this may not be the greatest solution for Malaysia. The nature of Malaysians who are more outgoing and more enjoy social activity may pose a serious concern. However, South Korea has chosen a different path to track and inform the public about COVID-19 development. The South Korean model rely on two ways. Although the South Korean strategy seems more appropriate, major resources are limited and rural IT coverage is minimal. As a result, the MOH and the government create MCO measure and target screening process during the mitigation phase. This was done to create a little window of time to stop the virus from spreading. Initially, the government used the MCO to restrict mass movement to reduce the community transmission chain and allow the MOH to track, isolate, manage positive patients. Travel limitation will allow the MOH to complete screen and regulate current cluster, preventing transmission beyond the first to second generation. During the incubation phase to 15 weeks after exposures, sector collaborate to achieve this. In order to stop the sickness from spreading, the health sector partner with the police and military. This sector all work in different way, but for the same aim. When it comes to limiting movement in red zone, police and military work together to enforce mobility limits. Because the COVID-19 scenario change frequently, healthcare professionals and the public need a standard operational method. As a result, economic certification routine work with the Malaysia government to manage the pandemic. Intensive screening was also used to find and treat positive cases. Affected individuals are identified within cluster and door-to-door screening procedure are conducted in red zone. Although Malaysia has yet to attain the end of 60,500 tests per day, currently 11,500, 69.7% coverage. Existing testing can detect and identify considerable proportion of positive cases per population, 7.2%, versus the WHO standard on 10%. The addition of 48 laboratories across the country has allowed for faster and more accurate testing. For employing mass media and IT technology can quickly reach a larger population. Daily personal text messages of government instruction and recommendations sent to personal smartphone, and daily combat against COVID-19. Fake news to prevent confusion and panic among the public. Moreover, frequent news conference by the same authority, health and defense minister boost public confidence and security during the pandemic.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Atarisha binti Mama Amin. My matric number is 2020990367. I'm going to talk about conclusion. The government of Malaysia enforced a movement management order beginning on March 2020 to interrupt the chain of COVID-19. Then, the media actively unfold the hashtag stay home. Non-government and all organizations, yet as jail inmates, began to turn out personal protecting instrumentation for frontliners. Numerous organizations hosted fundraising events to supply necessities in the main to hospitals. A probationary hospital was discovered and collaborations with tending service suppliers were granted. Whereas further laboratories were appointed to boost the capability of the Ministry of Health. After that, the fate of Malaysia's new government is going to be determined by Prime Minister, which is Ismail Sabri Yaakob's leadership in handling the continued coronavirus pandemic and depression per specialist. Although COVID-19 could be an international pandemic, expressions of the epidemic could take issue from the country to a different. This might relate to the virus biology. After that, vulnerable population characteristics, population's behavior, and therefore the country's response to the crisis. As we know, we have a tendency to given here Malaysia's challenges and response to the epidemic within the hope of sharing our experience that may be lessons learned for others. As we know, Malaysia as a developing country with restrict resources face mounting challenges in responding to the crisis. However, with smart cooperation between government agencies and therefore the public, the country managed to beat the primary two waves of the epidemic. Notwithstanding, the third wave tried to be a lot of intimidating, however is unbroken in restraint at the time of writing of this text. Hopefully, Malaysia are going to be able to keep the epidemic cornered. A minimum of till each voters area unit totally inaccessible. Thank you.